folks, welcome back to Farming Simulator 22 and episode something of the survival challenge. I really should look that up. Before we get into today's activities, I thought we'd stop by the sheep because we've got a bunch of lambs. So we've got 20 of the Swiss Mountain and 20 of the landrace of Bentham lambs. So that's awesome. Chickens are all doing okay. They are producing eggs and stuff as chickens do. And so the other thing I would do is very quickly, and we'll just stick flight mode on, is give you an idea of just how much land we cleared in the last episode. So that's the edge of our grass field that we have planted, which is going to be ploughed in for oats in the summer, and that's all the land that we cleared. It's quite a lot. We still have a little area of trees to clear, and we do actually own the up into the hills there, so we could clear that, but most of our tree area is clear now, and we can look at ploughing in a nice big field at some point. The other thing that I am interested in putting in, and I can't remember the name of the modder that this pack comes from, is this guy. So this is an 8-horse stable. I was thinking of putting it somewhere here, and what I'll probably do is then plough this field all the way down to the roadway, and then I think we'll make a field. I'm drawing on the screen, which you obviously can't see. It kind of loops around the horse enclosure, make that into one bigger field. The other option that we have, wow, that's a lot of horses, but that's really big. That's really big. 25 horses would be a lot. The other option we've got is that one, and I can't see how big that area is. That's Cookie Cat's pack, I believe. And as you can see, we also have a bunch of money. This is the field that I was thinking about buying. Go into the map. It's down here. So it's this guy. It's £140,000 or euros. Should be in euros, which I think we can easily afford. We could actually afford those 2 fields. What's that one got in it? There's a wee field. It's not too bad. That might be fairly sensible actually to sort out our expansion. So, first job today is mow all of this. So let's switch the drone off and find our mower. It's so long since we've used a mower on here, not entirely sure what we have. And I need, once I've done that, I will be adding in my UK geo. I know we're not in the UK, we are in France, but it's close enough. The mower's in the back there. It's pretty well hidden, isn't it? So let's get this started up. Drop the weight off the back, and probably drop the log fork as well, I think. Let's sort out our settings, because it'll bug me. Euros, and we want kilometers, because we're in Europe land. So while we get this sorted, I assume most of you are sensible and are on the Maize Plus Discord, and will have seen that we are close. The alien pool shared a bunch of screenshots of stuff from FS22 Maize Plus, and I think it's basically they are now waiting for the 1.3 patch to come out so that they can check it doesn't break anything, and hopefully then we will be fairly close to having Maize Plus. I don't know if I'll have it this game It's not really about the Maze Plus stuff. Although it's not really about surviving now. You know, we've got 300 grand in the bank. But we are not short of cash. That's very quickly going to go though when we put our horse pen in and buy our 2 fields. So I could run this. Sorry, I had to turn the volume down on my headphones. I could run this on the back of the Unimog, but I feel we should use the tractor. And I guess at some point we could think about upgrading the mowers. I don't think our cash situation is going to look quite so rosy very soon. So yeah, by not adding in the UK growth geo, it's meant that the grass hasn't withered, which, seriously, the volume on this thing, as I said when I spoke about it before, is a little cheaty, but only a little bit. Because I'm just using the Giants geo. And that's what Giants want us to do. So yeah, so it's not really cheating. It's fine. It means I can get a cut of. I'm going to bale this for silage because we did quite well out of that last time. This time we will remember to wait for all of the silage to ferment before we put it on the trailer. And I could have taken a few more trees out to make this much more open an area, and I will probably mow a whole load. But I don't really want to be digging through the trees like I was the first time I did silage. That was a bit of a pain. And it took quite a while to find everything. But yeah, next year on here should be much more farming based, I guess, now that most of the trees have gone. And the plan is that we will have 3 fields on here and potentially 2 fields that we have brought on the map over there. The nice thing about starting to buy land is it gets us some capital for when we eventually move on to another map, which I will with this series at some point. The old stream farm, oh yeah, I think that's it, is a very strong contender. It's a very nice looking map that I really do want to get stuck into playing at some point. But we're going to finish out the year on here, and then I think we will be looking to move away from Giants maps. See, it's still playing Ravenwood, which is actually Elm Creek. So I'm still playing both, well, 2 of the 3 Giants base game maps. So really do want to get away from that. Got Calmston going now, obviously, and as more maps come out, it will be interesting to play some more maps. The other one is possibly, oh, I'm going to get the name wrong. There's a German map that's come out, something grade, which also looks quite interesting. It's not a full convert, so it's there's no yards or anything, but all the fields are there. And yeah, that might be an interesting option, apart from the fact that we would have to pay to build a yard, but it would fit in with the whole kind of building everything from scratch. So it's definitely an option. It'd be quite nice to stay on mainland Europe, I guess, with this series for another round, because it would make us getting all of our equipment transported much easier. So when we do move maps with this series, I will either, well, yeah, I will take most of the equipment that we have. I will probably sell some things off that we don't want to take with us, and obviously can't sell the land, as I've said many times, but we'll probably sell off the buildings and things. Or maybe not, because they're really part of the land, aren't they? Don't know. Yeah, just going to keep sort of rolling the equipment through, and we'll start things off as we upgrade them, except the truck. If we do, we could get rid of the truck, but I can't sell it. I don't want to make any money from it because it was one of the things that we started with, like the plot of land. Yeah, so we're just gonna mow some grass, windrow some grass, bale some grass, and grab some grass, and there's a lot of grass work going on in videos at the moment. I've just done a whole load in Calmston, which you will have seen at this point. Ravenwood is probably going to be grass work in the next video. I think it's a fact, part of it is that grass grows so damn quick in this game. Although this is only our second silage cut on here because just how it's worked out. Because it's just unfortunate that they have all got stacked up together in the videos that I'm making. We have got the big windrow on here, which will make it quicker for baling, unlike last time when I had to go around and bale the single width strips that we have from the mower. It's obviously not so much money in the wood that's left now either, so we do need to get a good source of income coming in. We may do more farming type contracts next season as well. Technically, I guess it's this season, although the season started in March. Although we didn't start in, oh sorry, the season started in August, but I think we started in March on here. We are coming up to the end of the first year. And I think we've done pretty darn well. From starting with the pickup truck and a chainsaw to what we have now. We do have a lot of planks up at the carpentry as well that we need to get sold. Obviously at the end of the last episode I just kind of dozed them out of the way of the spawn point to keep that going. So we should probably take the tractor up there at some point and get those loaded up. I did ask before about upgrading the tractor, and I think yeah, at least one of the responses I got was just use the Unimog as the big tractor. Go away, course plate. I guess the problem there is, let me have my cursor back, thank you. Now I want to close the window. There we go. The problem there is that we need a front loader up at the carpentry, and it's incredibly slow to drive this tractor up to the carpentry because it only does 30 kilometers an hour. So that is a consideration in terms of upgrading to something more modern and faster, is that it would let us get around the map quicker when we need to use the tractor. There aren't any, I don't think there are any cheap telehandler or front loader, or yeah, a front loader skid steer options at the moment. Don't know if Black Sheep Modding is going to be converting his old Massey Ferguson skid steer. That would be perfect. And I think at nearly 15 minutes in, we will get into some time lapse now and get this grass mowed and windrowed and baled and wrapped. And it looks like there is a tree stump in there. Yeah, a mower upgrade would be good, but we don't need to do that much mowing after this, I don't think. We do need to keep some grass for the sheep. Although they don't eat much, so maybe we'll be okay with what we've got just around the farm. Anyway, time to go into time-lapse mode, so future meet will be with you in a bit. Hopefully I've managed to sort out that god-awful audio that I've just listened to, because I was in a hotel room recording that first introduction and it sounds like the acoustics weren't great. Oh well, hopefully I can sort it when I edit this video into something more decent. I managed to get most of the grass cut while I was rabbiting away, and we haven't got too much more to do. It's going to be nice to get this turned into a big field. gonna have to be a spring crop, so probably do something like canola. I think a big field of canola would be quite cool. And I don't know if I put it in the video, but I do some research later on fields, and I'm pretty sure we can go for field 39 and 42. In fact, I think I might have covered that in the intro, but the bit that I didn't cover and what I was just talking about grass work is 42, and that probably means 39. Both have really big headlands, which might give us our grass to keep our sheep going. So that's an option. The other option is we plough those into big fields, or even plough them into one field. Except 39 already has wheat in it, and we probably don't need another big wheat field. So yeah, well, in fact, what I'll do is I'll check my own video on the best crops to grow, and I'll pick the one that's going to make us the most money as a cash crop. Because we're going to have oats in here, and that's going to be a field the full length of the land down there. And then once we've got this baled, windrowed, baled, wrapped and cleared out the way, we're going to put in the horse shed, as you will have seen from the thumbnail, and get ourselves our horses, which is going to be cool. My first time properly farming horses in FS22, and really first time I have actively farmed them in FS in general in a while, because the last few times I've used them in FS19 I used the horse helper and just kind of fed them and left them to it. There will be an element of that here, because we can just leave them to, I'm going to feed them through the winter, but possibly through the summer. While they are young, we might just let them graze on the grass with a little bit of oats just to keep them going until they are more mature and therefore worth a lot more, and then we'll get serious about riding them and feeding them properly. But maybe early on we would just let them graze on the grass and give them a little bit of supplementary oats. Need to refuel the tractor before we grab the baler. And then we'll get this baled. We've got some pretty chunky windrows because I got a bit carried away with merging them together, and we had part of a bale already that turned out to be grass, although it was mostly hay. I'm not sure if I like that feature of FS22 where with 19, obviously if you started a bale it tended to stay as it was, whereas in FS22 it swaps, and I guess it saves people from gaming the system and putting a tiny bit of hay in and then getting full hay bales. But yeah, I'm not sure how that should be really. Maybe it should be like a 50% threshold, or maybe it should force you to empty the baler. I don't know. Fairly quickly getting bales off of here. We end up with a decent number of bales, and the silage will be a nice little income for us. Once it's fermented, I'm just going to move them out of the way once they're done and store them until we're at a point where we can sell them. I think next video we'll probably be doing a bunch of ploughing, getting our fields marked out and limed and fertilized and all that kind of stuff ahead of planting. Probably a sensible idea. It's kind of tempting to clear the last of those trees, but I think we all had enough of forestry in the last video. We certainly had enough of it recording it. And trying something different this time, I'm going for a longer video with slightly less jump cuts, so you're getting some longer sequences of me doing stuff. And there was a fairly long intro because I was away in a hotel and I could sit and record a fairly long intro. So let me know what you think about this kind of slightly longer style of hybrid time-lapse video. Trying to group the bales into pairs, the theory being that I can come along and pick a pair up with the bale spikes, and we'll have to get some bale tape out to repair the holes that I make in the bales that we've wrapped. But it was the only option we really have, because I'm not a fan of the bale wraps. In fact, I don't know if I've ever used one. But a couple of holes from the bale fork aren't the end of the world. We can just stick some bale tape over those and it'll be fine. Not like the bales have started fermenting yet anyway, so yeah, it'll be okay. Ended up with, I think, 16 bales it was that just flashed up, which yeah, should give us a nice payday. I can't remember what the animal dealer pays for grass silage, or silage, because we only have one type of silage. If you're on the Maize Plus Discord, and if you're a fan of Maize Plus, you should be. We're getting closer. Alien Paul posted a load of really cool pictures of FS22 Maize Plus. They are basically waiting for the 1.3 update so that they can check that it doesn't break anything, and hopefully then we will be not too far from Maize Plus. So I got a bit carried away and grabbed the animal trailer, which, if you remember in the past, I swapped because this one takes horses, but then realised actually we need to move some bales out of the way before we can place our horse corral. This is from the Elk Creek Ranch pack of placeables. It is 25,000 and holds 8 horses. I thought that was quite kind of a good amount of horses. I may end up bumping that up as we get towards having foals. They have a huge placeable which holds 20, but that was too big. Just going to landscape in some mud around it so we've got some places to drive, get rid of some of the bushes in the paddock, and I think we're good. This looks really cool. I have not used it before, but it looks good. So let's head over to the animal dealer and pick up some horses. Going to go for a bit of a mix, I think. So we'll just get a couple of each of the colours. They are costing us £1,000 a piece for the pair. And probably going to keep these for quite a while and get into breeding some foals is the plan. Not done that before, obviously, apart from in my testing video, because you couldn't do it before. So it's probably a slightly dodgy edit here because one of my annoying dogs was whining for absolutely no reason, because I'm upstairs recording a video commentary and he's downstairs on his own with his 3 brothers. So hopefully I can have worked out where I needed to restart talking and redoing the commentary because everything went a bit sideways. Anyway, let's get these bales put away, which goes about as well as this has just gone in terms of recording commentary, because this bale fork seems to have been coated in frickin' Teflon. So the bales go flying everywhere, but we do eventually get them all nicely stacked out of the way. Could probably have put them in the shelter there, but what I didn't mention is this horse corral comes with a really nice little shed at the front that we could store some machinery in, or some hay bales, I guess. Or some of the oats, because we don't have a silo. So maybe, I don't know if there's the big bag mod. Maybe we could bag our own oats up. That might be quite cool. I'll have to see if I can find that. I'm pretty sure there's a mod where we can bag our own crops up, so that might be fun. We could make our own bags of oats come harvest time for feeding horses. I'm just going to give them a bale of hay because it's winter time. I do have a bit of a faff with finding the bale trigger. Now I think what it is so there's a trigger here I think for oats, and then the bale trigger is sensibly on the bale feeding rig, which is really cool. It's a really nice feature, but it took me a while, and I apologise for the kind of disco effect of all of the collisions I was switching on and off there. Next job, we have 6 pallets of lettuce to get loaded up, which could be fun. Getting down the side of the greenhouse. I'm going to take the wool and we're going to go get the many pallets of furniture we have up at the carpentry. I think there's about 8 or 9 up there, so before we do that we'll give the horses some water because it's not automated in that pen. This is super slick driving from me. Yeah, kind of what you expect, I guess, in the end from me, but we'll sneak through here instead. I probably need to lay out some tracks around the farm at some point so that we don't end up cutting off how to get to places. Horses didn't take that much water, so we'll give the sheep the rest. They are doing actually pretty okay for water. Animals seem to use a lot less of things like that in FS22. I don't remember the last time I filled the sheep's water up on here, and the greenhouses are really not using it that fast. So let's see if we can at least get these out from here, and then we'll worry about stacking them on the trailer. This would be a really good use for, on Simply Safe mods, there are some ambidextrous greenhouses, and basically you can put them so the triggers are, you can get the trigger on either side, so that would be useful on here probably, but I've got them out, so we'll get them stacked up onto the trailer now with my awesome front loader skills. I am still pondering, probably said that in the intro as well, it's been a long couple of days since I recorded the intro, another tractor. Something that, particularly for this job of running stuff up to the farm shop, and we've got to pick stuff up from the carpentry, that it would probably be good to have a tractor that was a bit faster on the road for doing that job, that could have a front loader on it. Or I guess getting a loader up at the carpentry or a skid steer or a forklift is another option. And no, we didn't just lose a pallet off the edge of the trailer. You're seeing things. Honestly, you are. You should get your eyes checked. In fact, actually talking about clearing the rest of the trees, we're probably going to need those for keeping the carpentry going, because it's been a really long time since I put the wood in it, and it is actually down to about half, I think. So maybe we'll keep the rest of the trees and use those to feed the carpentry as we go. I'm going to take these 2 full pallets of wool. What I forgot is that the spinnery is completely separate to the farm shop and a bit of a pain to get to. It's up a really big hill, and there's no way we want to be taking a trailer with a dolly down here. So we're going to drop the trailer here, and we're going to take the wool in on the pallet forks. So that just seemed more sensible. Annoying couldn't quite pick them both up, but $2,500 for a pallet of wool, I'm happy with that. It's nice that the sheep are actually starting to earn some cash. Obviously we've got some lambs as well, so I'm not going to sell any of those yet. Another $2,500 there, so let's get ourselves down to the carpentry, which is a bit of a trek. And we have here 8 pallets ready, and I think another one spawns, so I think we're looking at 9 pallets of furniture, which is going to be a really nice payout. So yeah, we definitely now have the money for the 2 fields that we want. We put the horses in, and we've bought the horses, so I think the next thing after the 2 fields is definitely a tractor. We're not short on power, but speed and ease of use, so definitely a tractor next. If you've got thoughts on a nice tractor, then drop them in the comments below. Nothing too expensive, because we are kind of broke. Let's just get the last of these pallets loaded up, and we'll head over to the farm shop. And here we are, just coming around the top of the map. It's a fairly slow drive, so I'm saying a faster tractor on the road would be really nice, but this is going to be a big payout. 9,000 litres of furniture, 3,000 litres of lettuce, and we are looking at 60,000. Thanks for watching, folks. Like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. Catch you next time.